Welcome back, everyone, to Planescape Torment. You're here with me on Lefebvre, otherwise known as DraxxKraven. When? I don't know, the sound went funky.
I'm gone.
Pox. Take me in. Can you smuggle me into the mortuary? What if I pretend to be dead? Let Pox see you play deader. You play deader good, Pox can get you in high. Pretend to be dead. Pox sell you? You want to be sold now? Yes. Beautiful. Okay. Yes. I seem to have gotten turned around in the halls. Thank you. I'll go speak to the guide.
All right.
Dainara, I've returned.
My love, you have returned to me. Can it be that your memories have returned?
I have questions. Right. She can see the future. Can you tell me who I am? Blessed and cursed. Memories aside, and assuming death has rejected me, why is that a curse? Oh, no. What else can you tell me about myself? What am I?
Updated my journal.
Yes. Pardon me, let me go back. I cannot. The truth is this, you are one who has died many deaths. These deaths have given the knowing of all things mortal, and in your hand lies the spark of life and death. Those that die near you carry a trace of themselves that you can bring back. As Dainara speaks the words, a crawling sensation wells up in the back of your skull. You suddenly feel compelled to look at your hands. As you lift it up and look at it, you can see the blood coursing sluggishly through your arm, pouring into your muscles and in turn giving strength to your bones. And you know Dainara is right. You suddenly remember how to coax the dimmest spark of life from a corpse and bring it forth. The thought both horrifies and intrigues you. We can now return the dead. Nothing, Dainara.
I shall wait for you in death's halls, my love.
There's one more zombie. Oh, is it this one? No. Oh, use stories bones tell. Nope. Too far gone to answer any questions. Talking to this guy? Here it is. This reanimated male corpse has the number 1041 carved into its forehead. Despite its taut, desiccated flesh, it is apparent that its features once had a rather exotic cast to them. The zombie's lips have been stitched closed, most likely to prevent it from moaning incessantly, and it smells strongly of formaldehyde. The corpse reels for a moment as the spirit revisits its one-time home. Its almond-shaped eyes become dark once more, a faint bronze cast creeping over the pale flesh. It straightens itself, brushing the dust off its clothes. At last, noticing its collar, the ghost peers at you for a moment, with curious eyes, and then bows slightly. Bow in return. Oh God. The spirit smiles for a moment, as if pleased. He composes himself, standing with one hand behind him as he begins to speak in a soft, lilting tone. I'm not even gonna try. I'm sorry. I'll do a lot of wacky shit, but I don't want to butcher this language. That being said, he appears to be content to stand and wait patiently for your reply. I have no idea what you're saying. Can you understand me? The spirit pauses for a moment, as if to think. He then begins to speak again in a thickly accented yet deeply refined voice. You must forgive me, honorable sir. It's been no small length of time since I dared to speak your tongue. No doubt my spirit has been summoned here to answer your questions. What is it you would know of me? Who are you? Who I am is a difficult question to answer. Who I was is not. I was known as Zhuang Bei, tutor and bodyguard to Liu Zizi, daughter of the censor Jian. Tutor and bodyguard. Yes, it is not so uncommon where I hail from. It was my duty to stay by Miss Liu at all times, not only to keep her from harm, but to educate her. I was regarded as a scholar of some repute as well as a swordsman, you see. Perhaps I would have served her better were I a better swordsman, though. served her better? Did you fail her somehow? I will tell you the entire tale. As the tutor and bodyguard of Liu Zizi, I am, of course, charged with both her education and defense. One fair evening, we were standing on the balcony over the courtyard, where I was teaching her about the various constellations. Go on. Of course, as we stood there, 2 assassins suddenly burst down from the rooftop to the balcony, most likely there to kill or kidnap Miss Liu. Shouting for the guards, I drew my blade and leapt to her defense. In the ensuing battle, the balcony's railing was shattered, and the 4 of us fell into the Jade Portal. Jade Portal? Oh, pardon the assumption on my part. The Jade Portal is a circular pool that lies in the courtyard, paved with tiles of green and white soapstone. It's called the Portal because it's said, at times, glimpses of another place appear reflected in its shimmering waters. I see. Please continue. As I was saying, we fell into the Jade Portal. I'd never imagined it was actually a portal in any sense of the word, but surely enough it was. I suddenly found myself lying in an unfamiliar alleyway, my leg broken. I reoriented myself only in time to see the assassins fleeing. Liu Sisi tossed over one of their shoulders. Go on, please. Well, that is mostly all. I limped about painfully until I found someone to heal my leg. They took what little coin I had as payment. From that healer and others, I learned the tongue of the people here, all the while scouring the place for the 2 assassins in my charge. And you never found them, then? I hunted down one of them, but he would not speak. I executed him and kept his head in a silk bag, so that I could bring it back for the censor when I returned his daughter to him. The other assassin eluded me. He did more than that, in fact. He killed me before I could kill him. Rescue my charge, sad, but it's all behind me. Would you have known how to return to your land had you rescued this Zizi? No, but I am confident I would have found a way. A moot point now, really. I wonder if they're still in the city. Perhaps I could find and help this girl. Your offer, Moxie, was a noble man. However, no less than 75 years have passed since I was killed. The man who assassinated me is long dead by now, and most likely Sissy as well. Please, ask what you will. Where are you from? I was from a place called Shorlong, a place I once regarded as the center of the universe. So many places, so many worlds. I once considered myself a truly learned man, yet truly knew so little when I died. What was that you spoke when you first appeared? Oh, it was a poem. Difficult to translate. Did you have another question, perhaps? No. Tell me more about the poem. Very well. He thinks for a moment, tapping the end of his corpse's long, bony fingers together. Soon he begins to speak once more in a steady, measured rhythm. It is difficult to meet, as it is difficult to part. The north wind has weakened. Hundreds of flowers fade away. When the spring worms die, the silk shall never come again. When the candle wax becomes ash, tears shall stop. So you're saying I should have left your spirit alone. Have I offended you, calling you here? Well, no. I'd hoped not to be so direct. Avoid a confrontation, you see. It's only that I no longer desire to have any part in this world. I see. Where does your how did you end up here as a zombie, I mean? I see, but do you know how your corpse came to be working here? Ah, that! I was approached one night by a young woman on the street, formed an organization called the Dustmen, the same that oversee this complex. She proposed to me in return for a small sum of money that my corpse would be used here upon my demise. That didn't seem odd to you? Perhaps at first, the idea is a bit macabre after all, but after speaking with her for some time, I realized that they, the Dustmen, feel much the same way I do regarding death. My body, a vehicle, nothing more. I believe they are true death to be exalted state that I personally seek to attain. Total release and detachment from the material world. Should my corpse, having served its purpose as my mortal shell, manage to serve some small purpose here, so much the better. I see your reasoning. Where does your spirit reside? My spirit resides in the realm of illustrious magistrate, Yen Wang Ye, the Palace of Judgment. Is something wrong? Is it a bad place? Well, you see... Spirit stops for a moment to think, rubbing the corpse withered hand together. When I arrived after a short period of waiting, I was to be ushered to my final true destination. However, there was some sort of commotion during my escort through the palace, and I was left alone in a side room with the promise that I would be attended to in a moment. And, well, you see, no one has ever returned for me. I waited quietly for what seemed like days, but it was no avail. I eventually left the room to wander the palace, hoping to find someone to direct me. There are 9,001 rooms here. In each one I have passed through, I was merely directed to another. I seem to have fallen between the cracks for the time being. Is there anything I can do to help? Your offer is too kind. I am afraid, however, that there's nothing you can do. I'm sure of that. In time, I will be sped on my way. Again, though. Thank you. What do you know of this place? This building? Nothing at all. I'd heard of it. Knew my corpse was to serve here, but that's it. I know almost as little about the great city's sigil. My weeks here were spent searching for men I fell into the world with, and learning the language that would paint me. I had time for little else. I could have learned so much myriad wonders from this place. Very well. Perhaps we will speak again. But probably not. I should go now. Ooh, do I still have the portal key? I do! Never drop your keys! Don't never drop your keys! Alright. Oh, wasn't there something going on in Angiar's house? I feel like I remember Angiar.
Done.
Nope, just the wife of Angiar. Greetings. You'd best leave, for I call my husband. He won't take kindly to have barged anywhere in our home. If you were going to call him, you would have done so already. I just have questions. I have not the time, stranger. Do not be troubling me with such things. Are you all right? Me? Oh, aye. You'd best leave. My husband has not been himself of late. You'd best not provoke him with your presence. What's wrong with him? He's been out of sorts of late. A touch of the cough, perhaps? What's really wrong with him? If you tell me what's wrong, I might be able to help. I think he's done something he regrets. I think he signed one of the dead contracts. I cannot imagine what possessed him to do such a foolish thing. Dead contracts? Right. We already know what the dustmen do to the body after death. Why did your husband sign such a thing? Well, your husband won't need his body after death. What's the problem? The ghoulishness of the contract aside, it's his nature that's been changed. He's become sullen and dark since doing this signing. Can't seem to arouse himself to look for honest work. It's like the lady's shadow hangs on him. Can the contract be undone? I've tried. I've spoken to the dustman he did the signing with, but he's cold and chill like all the dusties. He even lectured me on my husband, and if I had no right to try and help him. He was cold and cruel, he was. Which one? Calls himself Gravesend.
Updated my journal.
I'll try to find him. Vow. I won't turn away such a friendly gesture, but I must ask you not to let on that I asked you to do such a thing. My husband has a terrible temper, and if you were to find out, I promise that your husband will not find out. Thank you, stranger.
Done.
I think I can work with this. The Post. Still love that guy. Mortuary Gravesend. Are you the one who signed that dead contract with Angiar? I do not recall the name, however. I want to settle it. I'm afraid that's impossible. The contract is signed, settled, and binding. The contract is tearing the man's life apart. It's causing him distress. It's possible he may never be able to approach the true death with such emotions churning in his heart. I can. It's a matter of law, my friend. Besides, the burden lies upon the signer to overcome his own feelings in order to reach the true death. I cannot. So what you're saying is that you'll deny him true death for the sake of a piece of parchment? Look, it's not how you're making it out to be. You obviously hold the philosophy of the dustman in contempt to damn a man's soul over a piece of paper. Do other members of your faction know of your conduct in this regard? If not, I'll make sure they do. By the Nine Hells, wait here, and keep your bone box latched. Here, all for a man's peace of mind. Now be gone and nettle me with your preachings no longer. I will leave. For now, farewell, Mortuary. Too funny. Too goddamn funny.
Done.
Oh god, it's Angiar.
All right.
Can I speak to the wife of Angiar? Were you able? Yes. Here it is. Oh, by the powers. You must have Deva in disguise to do such a thing for someone you barely know.
Updated my journal.
Nay, if you could show me husband the contract, say that you got it for him, but don't say how. I'd appreciate it. Very well. I'll do this. Angiar? The man looks haunted. His eyes are half lidded, as if he has had trouble sleeping, and his hair is long and unkempt. His beard is flecked with bits of dead skin and old bits of food. He doesn't seem to notice you as you approach. Greetings. What be your business barging into my house? Get, or I'll send you back to wherever you crawled out of. Just show him the contract. Where'd you get that? By the powers, you'd best tell me. Tear it up.
Updated my journal.
Nothing's free. Not in the Hive, Cutter. Consider it free. And expect a lot of the rules in the Hive to change while I'm around. It's worth a great deal to me. Take care, Angar. Where's the door?
All right.
Alright, we took care of that. I think... Wasn't there a linguist in the clerk's ward? Yes, there is. Phenom the
Done.
linguist. Teach me your... Say your strange words, magic man. Oh god, no. And one mime. Hey, no city's perfect.
I'm gone.
'Tis not here. Greetings, I am Phenom. I must beg your pardon, sir, but I care little for guests, invited or otherwise, so unless you have business with me, I would ask you to leave. I did have some questions. I would have you know that I am a scholar and a linguist, sir. While I shall happily entertain any questions regarding my field of study, language, and the like, I can be of no help to you in other matters. Unfold the dodecahedron to a page with writing on it and ask if he can translate. This language is a long dead one, known to virtually no one. I believe my father, a linguist like myself, knew the language, and may well have been the only man in Sigil at the time that could understand it. I recognize it from his notes, but I cannot translate it. Do you have the notes? They'll be of no use to you now, if you're looking to translate anything. And the few actual books he had pertaining to the language disappeared around the time of his murder, I believe. Oh, I'd very much like to see them just the same. Your father was murdered? Strangled? Oh, no. No. Fuck. He'd left to tutor someone. He taught various languages to supplement his research income and was discovered dead in a side chamber of the Civic Fest Hall. The killer was never found. 50 years ago? Oh, fuck. I was but a child. He knew the language, though, and could teach it. Surely he did and could, were he alive today. My father was said to be a great teacher. I've his skill with language, but not his patience. Is he interred at the mortuary?
Updated my journal.
Why, no, his ashes are kept here. Why? A necroscope, are you? Speak with the dead? I have no wish to speak of these things any longer. You'll have to excuse me, sir. Farewell. Oh, God. Fuck.
Done.
All crowding around these ashes. There is an urn atop this small cabinet full of ashes and charred bits of bone. Etched into the base of the urns are the words, Finn Andley, beloved father, beloved husband, father, and scholar of 100 languages. Use stories bones tell on the remains. The ashes seem to stir faintly as if moved by your breath. A faraway voice whispers up from within the urn. Why have I been summoned to these ashes, cold and grey as the heart of a hag? To answer questions, spirit. Ask then, so that I might return to the most quiet thoughts. Who were you? I was Finn, a linguist and a scholar, murdered by a student of mine. Murdered so that I could not teach another the language I taught him, the tongue of Uyo, one of the rarest in the multiverse. I knew none who spoke it save myself and that damnable murderous student. Described from the writing in the journal. I could teach you this language, yes. It would please me to do so. In fact, if only despite that bloody-handed student of long ago. Tell me what languages you do speak. Learn what you can from the spirit. As the spirit speaks to you of the lost language of Uyo, there is a throbbing sensation in your temples as a memory begins to surface. Memories of this language. You recall letters, words, phrases, until like a spire wind blowing away the blanket of poisonous smog over the great foundry, the language is once more revealed to you in its entirety.
Updated my journal.
There's another memory, though, bubbling to the surface, a darker one. Its presence troubles you somehow, fills you with unease and unexplained pangs of guilt. Allow the memory to
Updated
surface.
my journal.
At last you recall Finn Andelia himself. You remember his gentle voice, his kind manner, his schooling you in the ancient languages of Uyo. You also remember your scarred, gnarled hand wrapped around his frail throat, crushing his larynx, ensuring that the secret contents of the journal, hidden and thrice trapped in the dodecahedral puzzle box, penned in the language of Uyo, would remain forever safe from any prying eye. Finn, it was me who murdered you.
Updated my journal.
The spirit is silent for a time, the ashes rustling softly within their urn, but it speaks once more, its voice full of sorrow. But why? Why would you have come to me once more? Did you forget what you had been taught? No. Well, yes, it's difficult to explain, but it must have been a former self of mine that murdered you. Each time I die, I reawaken as if from the long sleep. But I've forgotten everything, who I was or what I'd done. I think I understand. I sense your regret and would forgive you. Peace be with you, people of old, and may you prove kinder in this life than the one which sought an end to mine. Thanks, Finn. Farewell. Next time, the journal.